We'll get back to the hearing in just a moment, but let's bring in General Jack Keane, retired four-star general and Fox News senior strategic analyst, with his thoughts on what we've seen before. What we've heard so far, General, from this hearing is pretty much common knowledge, but this idea that the generals certainly do seem to be pointing a finger at the State Department here does not go unnoticed. And it looks like the general can't hear us. Yes, General, I'm talking to you. Wondering what your thoughts were.
Okay, yeah, great. Well, first of all, I mean, the rose has got to be pinned here, and I think it's unequivocally clear. The decision to execute an unconditional withdrawal with a date certain that the president decided on over the objection of his military chain of command, the advice that his director of the CIA provided to him, that it's likely that ISIS and al-Qaeda would grow and rise again if we pulled out completely. And the NATO nations who were there with us, who provided some 7,000 troops themselves, all to a person representing those nations wanted to stay, not to please the United States, but because of their own national interest. The president made this decision over all of those objections. He owns everything that took place as a result of that decision. Certainly complementing that decision was the State Department's failure not to recognize the accelerated nature of what was taking place. And General McKenzie is flagging everybody that this is actually happening faster than we thought it would happen. And where is their plan to execute and call a NEO operation, but get on with getting the American citizens out there, getting the embassy closed down, getting the Afghans who are supporting us out of there as well, while the military withdrawal was taking place pretty steady along the lines that needed to be to meet the president's objective. Everything needed to be done by the end of August. So, yes, the State Department played a role here in its failure, but the rose needs to be pinned here. This is the president's decision. He owns this problem and the consequences that came as a result of it.
All right. Yeah, and we heard General Milley say that there was a plan to leave 2,500 troops in place at the end of the Trump administration until the conditions, the diplomatic conditions of Doha were met. Real quick, General, those conditions were never met, yet Biden went ahead with the evacuation.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And what people don't understand also is that when negotiations began during the Trump administration with the Taliban, with the exclusion of the Afghan government, something many of us were opposed to, we stopped as a result of the agreement with the Taliban to start the negotiations. We no longer provided air support to the Afghan security forces, and they became painfully aware of what it was going to be like if the United States pulled out of there. I received phone calls from the president of Afghanistan, Ghani, asking me, can you do anything to reverse this decision, because the casualties we are taking are really significant. Yeah. That began to put in place in the minds of the Afghan security forces what it would be like without the United States support. And that we went downhill from there. That's likely not going to be discussed at this hearing, but our audience needs to understand that as well.
And General, we appreciate those thoughts from you. Thanks very much. Sandra?
John, we're going to have to take another quick break. As you can see, this hearing continues. Mark Milley is now speaking. Gold Star father of Marine Staff Sergeant Darren Taylor Hoover. Darren Hoover will be joining us to react as well. Coming up, more coverage of this continues when we return.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.